Hello friends, I thought today we would do, I don't think I've done an actual tutorial with the Maybelline one. I don't feel like I have. We're kind of doing an updated brow tutorial. I haven't changed it a lot, just the products. And if you're wondering what the heck is going on, I have on fake bangs because we're going to do the eye look of this look here, and then I'm going to film the rest of it for something else. Okay, you're about to see what the heck is going on. This is what we're doing today, but I'm just going to do the eyes here. You'll see the other part. I'm going to link it. You're still going to see everything. I just wanted to film it specifically for something. So we're going to do Sabrina Carpenter's look here. I've obviously always tagged the artist, but this look is so pretty and I've had a lot of requests for it. It's going to be a lot of blush. And then the faux bangs I have on, I styled them pretty nicely, but I have them clipped so they kind of get the swoosh that hers are giving. So I put in a little extra effort today. Now there has been a little bit of a switch. I've switched to a brow comb for my brow hair because my brow hair is very, very coarse. And I feel that we need to talk about different brow types before I get into this. I do every single time I do a brow tutorial because not all brow hair is the same. Same with head hair. So for me, I have super, super coarse brow hair. This is still my absolute favorite. I can absolutely use Brow Freeze, but I still feel Brow Freeze gel. I do not enjoy the Brow Freeze like this. This I feel is best. I'll come back to this because these are the ones I like, but this one I feel is best for very fine brow hair. And you use less than you think. This is a very wet product. So if you have texture, what it's going to do is weigh them down and they'll kind of start to fall because it's so heavy. But if they're very light, soft, fine brow hair, it does the job. So I do like this. And then e.l.f. has one that is basically the same. It is. Now the one from NYX I do not enjoy at all, and I don't think it's good for any brow types. It is just, it never dries. So Brow Freeze, this one, again, not for coarse brow hair, but for any brow hair, the NYX one, that I don't, Now if you want fluffy brow, this one. Fluffy, stands up, holds. I feel like this would work for all brow types too, because it's not too harsh. I need to shut my door. A little Ben isn't there on his calls. So again, I have super coarse brow hair, but my friend who has super soft, perfect eyebrows, she loves this one as well. So this one is just very universal and a little bit goes a long way. I'll teach you that in a second. But if you want a little bit more of a sculpt, so you're gonna get fluff. Doesn't mean laminated, doesn't mean glued down. It just means very airy, fluffy. But if you want just a little bit more of a sculpted look, then I'm gonna recommend the Brow Freeze Gel. This one I do love. I love, love, love. So this one is obviously different than this one. This one I feel dries faster, and that's really good for coarse brow hair, because coarse brow hair, that little bit of weight, if it's not setting very quickly, it's just gonna go and fall down. So I do love this one, but this one gives less fluff, more sculpt. Now the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take Sheila. Why am I sitting on Sheila? And then I want you to just lightly make sure that there's just go back and forth a little bit. Just make sure that there's no moisturizer in there. That's our #1 sabotage. Okay, I do this every single day because when I would go to do my brows, I couldn't get the fine strokes with my pen. My brow pencil was just, ugh, and it was just a goopy mess, and then it wouldn't last. So we got to make sure there's no product, but there's one more step. We're going to grab translucent powder on a fluffy little brush, just a tiny amount. You don't need to really get wild. And we're just making sure that they're nice and dry. This helps in every way. Name a way it's going to help. Longevity, even getting precision, drawing these little hair-like strokes we're about to do. This is crucial. This makes everything work better. Now I do maintain my brows myself. I used to thread the top part, and recently I've started doing that again, and I love it. I forget how much I love threading. I can't do the bottom part underneath here because I can't pull it and keep it taut enough. I might pinch myself, so this part I can though. But that all being said, the rest of underneath here I just pluck. And if you ever, the reason I'm saying this is because I could get really detailed, but I still think it's best for you to go to a professional, but I'll show you very quickly kind of how I map it out. But I still don't want you to do this. I really want you to go to a professional. But just very quickly, the little rule of thumb is the side of my nose. See how they're perfect right there? This is an eyeliner, that way we can really see. Okay, then I see where my arch is. Perfect. And that's where we start to kind of thin out right here. But again, everybody's so different, and that's why I don't want to teach this. I'm just kind of giving you an idea, okay? And then see the side of your nose, that's where it's supposed to end. That's all I'm going to show. I am not responsible for your brows. Just go to a professional. And I feel like sometimes when you go and you pay a little bit of attention, you can kind of keep it up. You can do it yourself. All right, let's brush these down. So I have this style of brow that I enjoy. We all like different things. You could hate it. You could literally be like, ooh, if she'd only change her brows. But we're all different. What I like to do is I like to define the top part, and I love this Kosas brow pencil, and I'm almost out of it, and it's kind of hard to find right now. So I hope that y'all can find it, but it's very tiny. And the reason I like it, control. So what I want is control on the top part. And you're seeing, notice I'm not drawing the line all the way over. Okay, see that? It's not over there. I want to do just hair-like strokes there later, but I want definition over this way. And the reason why is because that will eventually get covered up and softened with the top part of my brow. Now I'm not going to do that on the bottom part, and the reason why is because we're going to use the brow pen for that. But let me just go ahead and perfect. I was saying we're just going to perfect. I brushed them back down. It's a lot easier when you brush them down. Nice. And then I will kind of fill in this tail part. And then I'm going to brush back up, see where we're at. Looks about right. Now I could just ever so lightly fill this in. Still not going to, I'm not going underneath here. I'm still in the brow. And now we're going to come back to that. We're going to do the same on this side. Remember not to go all the way to the front. Satisfying, huh? And then fill in my little gappity gap. Fill in the tail. Really fill in any bald spots. So if you have a bald spot even here, I was saying we would fill that in, but I don't really have any here. I'm just fill them where I have them and then keep creating that. And a kind of a guideline to where I know where to stop that line is I'll brush them up again. And I just want my hair to barely cover the line. See how it's not covering right there? Once the brow hair goes up, we're going to put a little more there. This is the brow tutorial I craved back when I was trying to figure out my brows. People would just be like, oh, we're just going to put the brow pencil here. Then we're just going to brush. I'm like, help me. Now I do have a little bit more of a bald spot right here, but I'm still not going completely underneath. You see this? It's more in here. We don't know what happened there. All right, we're already ready for this. I love this. I think this is fantastic for the price. The gel is nice, it is, but it's still, if you have fine brow hair, yes. So unfortunately, I can't really use both as much as I would like. But I do like it. I do think the gel is it's a really good formula just for thinner, more fine brow hair. So what I'm going to do now is I think this is the darkest shade actually. So I hold it a little bit further back, and you're like, who cares? Well, when you hold something further back, you're able to get these more hair-like strokes, right? Because you're just kind of pew, 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 pew. So we want to hold it pretty far back. When we hold it like this, like a pencil, we're just going to see how it can get a little clunky. We could get the hair-like strokes, but you're probably not going to get them as often. So we're going to get clunky, no. So now I'm going to start at the front very, oh my goodness, Douglas, please, mama is filming. Okay, and then I focused, once I get the front kind of done, then I'll start to go underneath here and fill in gaps. This is a lot easier to do into a mirror and not into your phone. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fun? It looks so real. And this is such a fine pen. And I've worn this one for a couple months now. It doesn't turn green. It doesn't leak. And then I'll kind of start to go out. And I'm always trying to go the way the hair grows. So cool, right? Now give it a little brushity brush. See how things are going. I also like this instead of a spoolie because I feel that it doesn't disturb the product. A spoolie, because it's so fine. Spoolie. Little makeup artist. What's that? Here's one. It's so fine, it can get in there and kind of blur everything. Okay, it kind of just even takes it away, but because we have this fine tooth comb situation, it kind of just moves my brow hair where I want it without disturbing that product underneath. And while this wears beautifully, a lot of friction, like a spoolie, is still going to move it. So it's gonna wear perfectly, but we're not touching it while we're wearing it. That being said, the spoolie, like I keep saying, it gets in here and it just starts to disturb it because you're going over and over and over. And when you go over and over and over and over and over and over, it's going to start to disturb it. Also, I don't know who has my voodoo doll today, but I need you to stop twisting this little brow hair today. What is even going on? This never happens. What? Please. This side's actually easier to do because it's on this side. I don't have to reach over. Same thing though. This side I actually need to draw a little bit more brow hair towards the front. This one's a little shorter towards the front. Also helps to relax. See how I was even kind of tensing up my face? Always remember to relax. I need my little comb. Don't touch these. If we touch these, they would be disturbed. They have to dry. So making sure we're nice and brushed up. Same thing underneath here. See that big mess up I just did? So easy. Micellar water on a C30. So easy. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna have two different eyebrows. On this side, we're gonna do the brow freeze, just so you can kind of see the difference. What I like to do, whatever comes out on a wand, that's way too much. It's too much, especially if you have coarse brow hair, because it wants to, you would think that fine brow hair would want to get weighed down. No, it's okay. It's like, I'll do what you want. This coarse brow hair is absolute chaos. It's like, no, I want to fall down. And I'm just gonna take this. This is the Brow Freeze Gel. Okay, and I got it off on all sides. It's still quite a bit on here. Okay, just get it in there. And I don't like to go back and forth. You see that a lot. I feel like that sometimes applies too much product on coarse brow hair like mine. All right, so we got it there. Give it a second. Give it about 10 seconds. Y'all have to try this. So now we're gonna start to shape it and I'm gonna fluff it again. And this really makes sure, kind of pulling this brow comb through. And by the way, if you even have fine brow hair, you would still like this. It's really about just getting in there and not disturbing. Now we're gonna let that sit just a little bit longer. I'm gonna try to shape this just a little bit more. I can't shape here. I'll do this. I'll look into my mirror and do this. There we go. Just kind of making sure that they're separated. In case you're wondering, what are you doing? Just making sure they're not clumping together in one area. There we go. That's nice. I can come back. Once I push them down, once they're a little bit more dry, it's gonna fill in that little bit of a gap. Or we can come back and fix it later. Let's just leave it like this for just a second. All right, and then what I do is I take this on the side. So remember how we were like this? Now we're like this, horizontal. And then I'm just gonna lay the top part down just a little bit. And then I wanna kinda lay this down because this side lays down more. So I lay down this side, only this side more towards this way. There we go. Nice. Now, if you've discovered a bald patch or something that's come to light, because sometimes it'll happen, even if you filled it in, the way that we've moved that hair around and now it's staying there and not going back, sometimes you'll see that you might have missed a spot. It's not that we've taken it away, it's just that they're laid the way we want them, and they did just keep kind of going back. They're like, filling in that gap, but now they can't move. Now, while this side is drying, this is so good. So even though we tried our best, there's still gonna be product around here. Take micellar water, the tiniest amount. You don't want it to drip into your brow, but you just want enough to be able to clean up any of the gel. This makes such a difference on how your makeup applies. Look at that, look at this little crunchy that was there. Get out of here, little crunchy. There it is. I'm telling you, do this. And then I'll even take it through here, because I feel like a lot of times we have a lot of problem there. So take it through there, take it around. Look at that, look how much. It happens, but doing this is, oh, it's so good. All right, it's still not dry. So we can't go back in and do the brow pen until it completely dries. And that's why I recommend brow gels that dry. That NYX one, I swear I could have it on 3 days and it would not dry on any brow hair. So okay, let's talk about this, because I'm just in autopilot. Love this, but this does take a little bit of technique, but that's okay because we got it. All it does, there it is. Do you see how much is on there? That is way too much, okay? Too much. I carefully remove every single side. Listen, and I do it again. There's so much on here. That's still probably too much. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in, okay, just fluff it through the same thing. And you can already see how much fluffier this product is. This is a floofer. I would have tagged it, but I didn't have time because I don't want to lose where I'm at. So I try to get in here real quickly. Once it starts to dry, we're gonna get into Flake Town. So I'm making sure, also it's really important, I'm not pressing this to my skin. If I was to press this to my skin and get all the way in there, again, it's gonna come off. All right, we're done with this. Give this one about 7 seconds. I know that seems so technical, but I have faith in all of you. I feel like I just always teach for beginners and I don't wanna do that all the time. I know that we're on a different journey. We're getting to different places. This, oh my gosh, this again, boop. And that gets off excess, and then I'll just pinch it. That excess is what could turn crunchy. And like always, we're going to just kind of separate. We don't want them to clump, but I'm also going to come back and go. And then I don't leave them all floofy like this, but I do the same thing. But you can see, like I said, this one's going to be more sculpted looking, and this one just gives more separation, and that's what the fluffiness is. It's the separation between the hair, so you can kind of see that skin through there. This is a lot easier to do into a mirror. And they're still a little waxy, so I can kind of fill that in. Yay, nice. Fun, right? Yeah, you can see that difference. This one's more sculpted and this one's fluffier. Now this one's not dry yet, so if you wanted to do the same thing, but this one is nice and dry now. And both of these hold beautifully. So this little patch here, I'm just gonna, ooh, see, I even needed to correct and hold it further back. Nice, that's about it. All right, so a lot of you, while this is drying, a lot of you already have this. So I'm not gonna put it on, but I'm gonna show you how to get it out and how to get it on the spoolie. So this little spoolie here, this one's from e.l.f. I mean, if you wanna run to Target, I mean, any excuse to go to Target. So what I like to do is I'll grab it. This is kind of important. No. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop out. Look how much we're gonna use. That's for one brow. Okay? That's gonna go on the back of your hand. Flatten it out. It's work, it is, but I mean, it's part of why we like makeup, right? Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our spoolie and we're gonna go wee, and we're gonna fully coat that spoolie. And since this product dries slowly, if you needed to add more, you could. So you could do that same thing if you need more, but start with that much. And then you can definitely see the difference there. You're just able, it's a fluff. And when you separate the hair like that, it just gives a more natural look. And what you're seeing is you're seeing my skin through there in a good way. So it just looks very fluffy, very natural. I love this side too for when I do a little bit more of a glam. It's a very updated 2016. You're still able to see the separation in the hair, and it's not glued to my face, but it's just more defined. I'm fighting with my little bangs. I'm gonna have to recurl them. They don't want to go to the side. They're actually a little too heavy in the front. I should get a hairstylist to thin them out a little bit. They're actually really cool though. The match is pretty good down here. It's a little too dark, but I mean, it's literally costume. I'm just having fun. I'm just sassing. So these are from INH Hair, and they're really fun, but you can see that they are a little too thick. So I want to thin them, but I don't trust myself. We will come back to the bangs. I'll have to go style them. But the next thing we're gonna do is I actually feel that I need to kind of darken up my brows a little bit. Let me show you why. By the way, that's the end of the brow tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. Now we're moving over just to the eye portion of this look. So her brows they're even more dark and they're a little bit warmer than mine, which I don't know. Should we? I mean, we might as well, right? But I might just throw on a little extra brow powder. Now I gotta find brow powder. I'll just use eyeshadow. We'll use this one. That looks pretty good. This is the Mario Neutral palette. So I'm just gonna get in here. And I'm tapping. It's actually not a bad idea when it comes to going on top with the powder. I feel like her brows are even thicker than mine, but I'm not gonna thicken mine because then I would lose my brow real estate. I mean my lid real estate. Her brows are definitely dark though. And don't worry about fallout because I don't really mind it. But I'm trying to get it in there without disturbing it, so I'm kind of packing. Get in there. Now, one thing I did do is I added a couple more hair strokes under here. I feel that this is very celebrity makeup. They don't really terrorize their brows like I do. I like different looks. So a lot of times they just have very full brows and they leave a lot of these hairs underneath here. It's beautiful, but it's just not my style. But I mean, that's why we just come back in and create them, right? So I'm just throwing this on out. If you go back and look at the picture, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But her brows are crazy dark, though. I was looking at that. That's dark compared to her hair. I love it, but that's dark. All right, now we got much thicker, much darker brows, but they resemble hers now. I am going to go refill my water. I will be right back. Okay, so you're wondering where I went. So for some reason, the power is out in my neighborhood. We were actually outside having a little break, a cup of coffee, and we walked back inside and I noticed my lamp wasn't on, and then I noticed nothing was on. So yeah, we don't have power.